One of the ways you can add your 8-day schedule into your Google Calendar is using the Scheduler app. This is great for lower school teachers or specials teachers who don't have all of their periods in the Blackbaud calendar. It's also great if you want to add any recurring appointments or meetings or anything like that into your calendar as well. One of the benefits of using Scheduler is it does actually allow you to delete individual appointments or events once they're in your calendar, so that which just sometimes can be handy. Maybe if a class isn't happening or a meeting isn't happening or something like that. However, the downside is once you do add these to your calendar, you can't delete all of them in one fell swoop without deleting the entire calendar that you import that into. So we're going to go over that first. In your Google Calendar, you have your regular calendar associated with your school Gmail or Google account. And any other calendars, I've linked my personal calendar. And you can add other calendars as well. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, just to ensure if you make a mistake, you don't have to go and individually delete all of the appointments, is make a specific new calendar for your calendar. So you're going to make a new calendar, and I'm going to call it Mind Schedule 1819, and then just create calendar. So the only thing that will be in this calendar is my school schedule. And again, this is just so if I accidentally make a mistake when I'm importing my classes, that I could just delete this calendar and start all over again without having to go and individually delete each appointment. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my normal calendar view, and you should be able to see it there. If you want to change its color, you can click on those three dots, pick any color you like. So back on the Scheduler app, you're going to go and find Friends. I'm going to go to Friends Upper School. If you teach in more than one division, the recommended course of action is to put all of your, let's say, for example, upper school classes in. You're going to import that, and then you're going to follow this process exactly again from this point on. Then going and choosing, for example, middle school, or 7 and 8, or 5 and 6. You don't have to make another Google Calendar called Schedule. You'll import both of those schedules into the same Google Calendar. If you are there is a calendar for K4 homeroom and K4 specialists, but if you need to change any of these start and stop times, you can click this Enable Custom Times button and then use the drop-down menus to change the start and stop times. If you don't want to do that, just click Disable. And for upper school teachers, just do note, I've made this mistake a bunch of times. Because of after-school PE, we do have this, doesn't follow exactly this time for after-school PE, but we do have this last period, this 8th period here, is after school. So when you're going through and filling in your schedule, I've accidentally put my last school period, the 2 to 3:10 period, in this last block by mistake, maybe a million times. The other thing you want to look down here is when you're importing your calendar, it's going to go from this is their first day of school and this is the last day of school. Again, for teachers, mostly 7 through 12, 8 through 12, you don't probably want your classes happening during exam week, so you may want to adjust this. However, if you do, again, import all your classes through May 31st, you can always go and delete them later once you know exactly when the exams are happening and what's going on. So the next step here is you're going to need to manually fill out one cycle. I would recommend to leave the community period blank. You certainly can add in what those community times are. If you in upper school, if you know them, put those right in. There is also a community calendar feed that Erica can share. So if you don't want to add these in yourself, there is a feed for that. I again, recommend if if you aren't scheduled, leave it blank because you can add things in later. Or if it's a time that you schedule a meeting for, you can always add it in later, again, by going through the same process and just filling out that one period, whenever it may be. So for example, you could say programming 9, and then if you want to be fast, you can just Command-C to copy and just go through and paste it whenever it is then on the next day. Once you have all of your schedule in for that particular division, you're going to write in your email address. And email yourself the calendar. It may take a couple of minutes for the email with the link to the calendar, or rather the file for the calendar, to appear. So I'm going to end this video now and pick it back up in a part 2 where we import that calendar into your that schedule into your Google Calendar.